Steve Scalise had to delete a video that he tweeted that featured Ady Barkan. He is a well-known activist for single-payer healthcare. The video manipulated what Ady Barkan was saying during a conversation with Joe Biden. And it was manipulated in a way to make it appear as though Joe Biden is in favor of defunding the police. Now, Scalise used that as a way to demonize Biden for wanting to defund the police, which, I mean, I guess for the right wing, that is bad. But the fact that he took the words of someone who can't speak vocally because he has ALS and manipulated his words in this doctored video gives you a sense of exactly what the right wing is, who they are, and how they will not stoop. There is no level too low for them to stoop to. So Twitter flagged a video shared by the second ranking House Republican Scalise on Saturday as manipulated, as it spliced quotes together from an activist who again speaks through computer voice assistants, making it sound as though he'd convinced Joe Biden to defund police departments. So I want to go to this graphic, which shows you a side-by-side of how it was manipulated. On the left-hand side is what Ady Barkan actually said, but do we agree that we can redirect some of the funding? And then on the right-hand side are the doctored words that were included in the video. Do we agree that we can direct some of the funding for police, redirect some of the funding for police? Now, Steve Scalise was confronted about this, first by Barkan himself, who tweeted, "These are not my words. I have lost my ability to speak, but not my agency or my thoughts. You and your team have doctored my words for your own political gain. Please remove this video immediately. You owe the entire disability community an apology." And so Scalise did delete that tweet. And I'm gonna skip ahead to this next video where he tried to defend himself. Let's take a look.
So you're taking some heat over the weekend from Twitter because you took the last part of that, but you added from earlier in the interview, the police, and put it right in there, and you were accused of manipulating a video. What do you have to say about that?
Well, look, it shouldn't have been edited, but at the same time, the comments were always about, in fact, twice in that interview, he asked Joe Biden if he was for redirecting money away from police. And in both times, Joe Biden said yes. And you saw that last response, Joe was excited about saying yes, that he would redirect money away from police. So, look, we sent out the video again, the full video, in fact, if anybody wants to see it with that full interview. But again, multiple times Joe Biden has asked if he supports redirecting money away from police, and Joe Biden says yes. And look at what's going on in some of these cities. They need maybe stronger law enforcement presence. Surely they don't need a weaker law enforcement presence.
Let me just note that even in that interview, Steve Scalise lied. In fact, Biden has proposed spending $300 million on local police departments. Just a little fact that was left out of that conversation. And Scalise himself is garbage. In fact, back in 2017, Stephanie Grace, a political reporter in Louisiana, told the New York Times in late 2014 that Scalise once said he was like David Duke without the baggage, referring to the white supremacist and former Klansman. He's an awful person. There's really no other way to put it. Malaika.
For a party that cares so much about fake news, they really do promote a lot of it. I wish Joe Biden were really committed to defunding the police. And part of the problem is that Democrats have not fully owned what comprises so much of their base. You have a lot of progressives, you have a lot of Black people, you have a lot of activists who are on this side who are saying not having police enforcement or law enforcement does not mean that we cannot have safe communities. In fact, if you can redirect some of this funding for people who are communities that are being over-policed and over-militarized and that they're being harassed daily, that is a form of violence. And so if you can redirect that towards social services, then you can actually have public safety. But right now what we have are ballooning police budgets, and still we have crime. We still have police officers who are committing crime. So I would love if Joe Biden was actually committed to this, but he's not. And so the Republican Party, as usual, is using this as a cultural tactic instead of actually having concerns about public safety or disability, or people who have disabilities, or anything relating to folks who are on the margin.
No, you're so right about it. And what we kept hearing over and over and over again during the Democratic primaries was this ridiculous notion that, Biden, since he's moderate, is much more electable. He won't be attacked by Trump the way that Bernie Sanders will be attacked by Trump. But what do you think the Trump administration is doing right now? What do you think the campaign is focusing on? It doesn't matter. The candidates are interchangeable for the Republican Party. They're interchangeable for the Trump campaign. We keep hearing about how Biden is some radical leftist, which, I mean, I wish, but that's not the case. He's not a radical leftist, not even close. And he keeps conceding to what Bush era Republicans want, what makes Bush era Republicans comfortable. And no one wins in that situation other than Republicans, right wingers, and no one in the Democratic base.
Want to win a free electric scooter? Well, our partners at Aspiration and Zoom Electric are making it possible. All you have to do is head to tyt.com/greensummer for your chance to win.